Greetings. I am Honorable Lady Fastrada the Furious. Welcome to PayPal in the Kingdom of Ansteorra. Thank you, all of you, for your interest and service in serving in the Exchequer's office, getting involved with event pre-registration, and/or being a gate coordinator. There are benefits to using PayPal. These are things like event pre-registration through PayPal will reduce the amount of seed money that you'll need at gate. It does enable the pre-purchase of feasts, which helps with feast planning and purchasing ahead of the event. Gate sheets for checking in your pre-registered guests are created for the gate coordinator. It reduces the wait lines and speeds up the gate process at your event, since pre-registered guests are literally just checked in by looking at their membership card and initialing off that they've arrived. Electronic payments and transfer of funds reduces the amount of cash that you'll collect at gate, and that needs to be safeguarded until it can be deposited. We've had horror stories in the past where money's been lost or damaged before it could get to deposit, and well, this will reduce the amount of loss, hopefully, since revenue that is attained through pre-registrations are electronically transferred to bank accounts. Setting up your event with PayPal. Any group that wishes to use PayPal for event pre-registrations and for feast or other amenity reservations must be in good standing according to Kingdom financial policy. This means you have been reporting on time, you have not been flagged in any way as not being in good standing. The hosting group's exchequer, gate coordinator, or seneschal may go to the Kingdom's Office of the Exchequer webpage and click on Events Report tab, and then click on the PayPal request. The page looks like that. As you can see under Event Reports, on the right-hand side, it says PayPal request. You just click on that directly, and it will take you to the form. Also on that page, you'll find a checklist of the information you're going to need to complete the request. And that includes noting ahead of time the fees, pricing information, contact information, and making sure that that all matches what is on your published or posted event ad. The PayPal setup checklist is just a reference for all the information that you'll need to provide on the request form. The PayPal deputy cannot build your request from your checklist. This is for your use. So if you've kind of fill out that checklist and email it to me, that does not constitute requesting PayPal setup. If you're using that checklist form, there is a tiny URL link at the top of the checklist as well that will take you to the PayPal setup request form. Then a copy of the published or posted event ad must be emailed to PayPal deputy for verification of pricing information before the request can be processed. This is just to make sure that what I am charging as PayPal deputy through PayPal is matching up with what you've told people the prices will be at the gate. This is what the checklist looks like. Again, it's just information on your event name, who your coordinator is, their names, contact information, your exchequer's information, their contact information. This does not mean that the exchequer is the only person that can submit the request. It just means their contact information needs to be included, because we will be contacting them for approval of PayPal fees later. Your pre-registration open date, it's a good idea to submit and ask for it to be opened at least 3 weeks prior to your event, because this will actually allow for probably a good 2 weeks of time for folks to actually pre-register, because the final week before your event is usually spent closing out invoices and making gate sheets, so it's too late for folks to pre-register at that time. Obviously, more time than that is advisable, because that gives people more time to pre-register for your event and plan for it. Your close date can be 9 to 10 days prior to the event, and may not close on a Saturday or Sunday. And this is because it does take a few days for things to happen to prepare for your gate open date, which is like running reports, finding out what your net fees are and getting those to your exchequer, also creating gate sheets, the sign-in sheets, and getting that all sent to folks. So we need time to do that before your event date, and that is why we ask for the invoicing to close that many days ahead. The active request form is on the right side of the PayPal request page. You literally just click on the form and start scrolling down and begin to fill it out. Enter all information so that it matches up with your event details and your event ad. If any section is not applicable to your event, just enter NA as your response. If you feel you have submitted your request with a mistake on it, please resubmit a corrected request and just notify the PayPal deputy about the error. That way we'll know to ignore the first one and accept the information that's on the second request. Once your form's been submitted and the event ad has been provided and reviewed, an email regarding the PayPal fees will be sent to the hosting group's exchequer and seneschal. Both of those officers must respond to this email with their approval that the PayPal fees will be deducted excuse me, from the payments. This is because society law prohibits groups from passing these fees on to event attendees. Ideally, your event may be set up and running within 48 hours of getting these approvals. Currently, our understanding are that our PayPal fees are 2.2% plus 30 cents per transaction, and that is per invoice. Family groups can register together with the same email address of which where the invoice is going, and that will reduce the actual transaction fees. Currently, those fees look like what's in the example. For instance, someone pays their pre-registration as a member, and it includes a fees. They pay $10 as an adult member and $10 fees for a cost of $20. The PayPal fee for this transaction would be 2.2% of the total amount, which would come out to 44 cents, plus the 30 cent excuse me, transaction fee. So a total of 74 cents in fees. Total amount remitted to the branch for that registration would be $19.26. Occasionally, they may be off by a cent or two because if the 2.2% dividing line isn't even, PayPal will round up to the next cent instead of rounding down. So keep that in mind when the numbers are off by a cent or two per transaction. Also, make note that we are going to be checking with PayPal. Some of the fees that we're seeing now are a little different and may have changed based on how people are paying. This may be because they have a cashback type card situation, or they're using the PayPal later option, and we will be getting clarification on that very soon, and we'll make sure that is, if changes are made then, or have been made, those will be disseminated to our exchequers so that y'all are aware. Once approval is received, a URL link is sent to the gate coordinator, exchequer, and seneschal to post on your event pages, social media, and groups' websites. The PayPal deputy also sends the link to the Kingdom Calendar deputy to be posted on the Kingdom Events calendar. A link to view the events response form will be sent to the gate coordinator, exchequer, and seneschal. This will allow them to view pre-registration progress. Once the pre-registration link has been provided, it is live and is the exchequers, seneschals, and/or gate coordinators' responsibility to share it with the populace. It is recommended that the pre-registration link be publicized a few times prior to the event to remind the populace to pre-register. I cannot stress that enough. I have noticed a bit of a drop-off on PayPal pre-registrations recently, and when I have checked up on it and checked all the social media links, and I am just not seeing the option for PayPal pre-registration being advertised very much, period. Actually, I've noticed that a lot of groups will post it once on their event page and weeks will go by and there will not be another posting. And so obviously, out of sight, out of mind, folks need reminders. So be sure you are posting that where you expect your guests to come look for information on your events. As requests for pre-registrations come in, they are automatically recorded on an Excel worksheet. The only data entered by the PayPal deputy are invoice numbers, the amounts paid, or cancellations. From the time a client receives their invoice, which should be within 48 hours of their request coming in, give or take a day, depending on sometimes technical issues. Once they've received the invoice, their payment is due within 72 hours of the invoice being sent and can be made with PayPal, Venmo, debit, or credit cards. Reminders of unpaid invoices are sent via PayPal. This is set up actually right now so that they get a reminder the day before it's due and the day after. And I often go in and manually send another reminder on the actual due date. Regarding comps, and that is complimentary registration fees, it is difficult to accurately screen pre-registration requests for comps from a list. Several events might be open at the same time, and the same customers pre-registering for multiple events, and so errors can be made. So if possible, if you have a lot of comps, for instance, we have one group who has an event where they comp all their teachers. We can customize your pre-registration requests form to ask individuals if they are teachers on the schedule, and that way I know, based on their answer, to comp them as teachers or not. So we can be specific for the most part, but I do need communication on that and requests for that by email. Per society law, non-members cannot be comped. Refunds from the PayPal account is prohibited by society law, and refunds must be requested from the hosting group in accordance with that group's financial policy. But note that refunds will be minus the PayPal fees. The form responses worksheet is a living document that the Seneschal Exchequer and Gate Coordinator are given access to view while pre-registration is open. This is a repost of the actual registration requests resulting from event guests submitting the pre-registration form. Registration and feast amounts and invoice numbers are added by the PayPal deputy. Sometimes notations for gate workers are sometimes added by the PayPal deputy. Unpaid canceled invoices are moved to a second Excel sheet page named Canceled Requests. So if you're monitoring the progress and you see you're looking for someone's registration and you're not seeing it on the main page, just click on the tab at the bottom and go to the second sheet under Canceled Requests, because you may find it there. If it is not there, then that person's request did not go through and was not received by the PayPal deputy. And this is what it kind of looks like when you're monitoring the event. You'll see if I've entered in amounts paid, the invoice number that was issued to that person, their information, their names, and details like the highlighted sections where it says no, that's because they're non-members. In the blue, I usually highlight because they are youth and probably either need a special rate or a free or a no charge for their registration. So closing your event, Pre-registrations should close 9 to 10 days before the event and cannot close on a Saturday or Sunday. Clearing invoices, running reports, creating gate sheets, and the transfer of PayPal funds is a process that takes a few days. 2 to 3 days before your event, the exchequer and/or gate coordinator will receive a copy of the pre-registration's gate sheet by email. So if you have not received this by 2 days before your gate opens, please reach out and contact me. Once in a while, emails just do not go through for some reason and will sit in the outbox, or there may be server issues, but generally you should be receiving your gate sheets 2 to 3 days before your event. The pre-registration's gate sheet should be printed out and provided to your gate staff. For some folks, it might be necessary to adjust your print alignment or settings to print all columns on one page. This is an example of the gate sheet. I generally do include amounts that have been paid. Usually I don't include the invoice number. It's not really necessary, but I will generally set it up so that it's printed by or provided by SCA name in alphabetical order. And then there will be notations under member, whether they're a member or not, and whether or not a waiver is required. And also if they're a minor and who the responsible adult is should be included. And once all information for a guest has been verified and you've checked their membership, you just your gate workers will initial off on the last column. It doesn't show it here, but I've also started creating the gate sheets with the column all the way on the left that are numbered so that you can easily get a count of how many people pre-registered without having to physically count them. So in 2 to 3 days after all your invoices clear, the host group's exchequer and seneschal will receive a PayPal report. This shows all of the invoices paid, gross from those invoices, the PayPal fees withheld, and the net amount to be remitted to the host group. The PayPal deputy will gain approval to transfer netted funds from Kingdom PayPal account to the Kingdom account. A check for the net monies brought in through PayPal will be mailed by Kingdom Exchequer to the host group's exchequer or transferred electronically by the Kingdom Exchequer to the host group's bank account. This is something that was recently set up and approved and very much appreciated, and is also assisting in expediting groups receiving their revenue from event registration on PayPal. This is what the report generally looks like. Has a little more information in there usually because, but for privacy reasons, we've limited it. But generally you will see the dates people registered, their names, the gross amount that they paid, the fees that were charged for their invoice transaction, the net that was gained from that transaction, their contact information, or the email they used for payment and invoicing, their invoice number, the event under custom number, that is just what the event name is, and the column that's marked quantity tells you how many items were on the invoice that were charged for. For instance, if it says 1, then that was one person submitting 1 registration, 1 invoice. The next one shows 2, that means 2 people were registered under the same invoice, and so your actual fixed fees attached to that invoice would only happen 1 time instead of twice for each person. So encourage your groups, if they have families or groups that want to do it, they can all send in their pre-registration requests through one person through their email and pay on 1 invoice, and it will save on those fixed fees that are attached to invoices. For your reporting after the event, please do not print the PayPal report. It is many pages wide and you really only need the 3 highlighted pieces of information: the gross invoice, fees, and net remitted. Use the amounts on this report for your event report. Yes, pre-registrations go on your event report just the same as registrants that walked in and paid at the gate. NMR, or non-member registration, fee amounts are needed as well. So those are reported as well on your event report, which I will be honest, I'm not sure if this event report form, it looks exactly like the one you use now, because I know forms have changed, but essentially they're asking for the same thing. You're adding your prepaid site fees that were collected, your prepaid NMRs, the prepaid feasts, any other fees, such as whether you had options to reserve cabins or pay for electricity. Also, you can also include your donations there. If you seem to get one, like someone changed their mind and decided not to come to the event, and in lieu of a refund, they opted to offer it as a donation. So your total prepaid income goes on the bottom line, but that is your net amount. That is minus your fees, and it's not your gross, it's the net. It's whatever minus the fees. If you need to contact the PayPal deputy, official requests to make changes on forms or giving access to forms must be made via email to the PayPal deputy originating from an Ansteorra.org address of the Seneschal or Exchequer of the event host group. The only exception to that is if there's issues for the Seneschal or Exchequer, another member of the financial committee for that group may also contact me, and we will get approval to accept their changes. This is just to avoid any person involved with the event deciding that they want access to view sensitive information. We need it to come from an officer with their officer email address. Facebook Messenger may be allowed for quicker responses for some inquiries, but for official communications and approvals, it must be made via email at payments@treasurer.ansteorra.org. So again, if you have any questions, I'm here. You can also always reach out to the PayPal deputy at that same email address, payments@treasurer.ansteorra.org. And again, as for me, if you just have a quick question, need some information, you can reach out via Messenger or call or text. The information for the PayPal person is on the Kingdom website and the Black Star. So, do we have any questions? So, something I did not add in the PowerPoint, and it's just an FYI for folks out there, is another reason that PayPal kind of helps a little bit is once your event is drawing near and you want to get a better idea of your event's attendance and what to expect, quite often, if PayPal pre-registration has been promoted, you will generally get a pretty good amount of those pre-registrations through PayPal, and can kind of figure out that generally speaking, it's anywhere from 30 to 35% of your attendance. So it will help to monitor that progress, and it'll give you an idea of how many folks you're probably going to be able to expect at the door as well. The exceptions, of course, are for events where PayPal pre-registration is necessary because to reserve camping space, or just that particular group is requiring everyone to pre-register and reserve feasts, for instance. So otherwise, though, it's still a good indicator that pre-registrations will be 30 to 35% of your overall attendance. We had a question.
Sean, you're up.
Sorry, trying to get screens to work the way I want them to. It's not really a question. It's to answer Caitlin in the chat. I think I said your name right. I really hope I did. So I'm going to share my screen. So we just finished up Coronet Tourney. And the way I've already received the ACH information from Kingdom. So that's why it's already logged for 7/22 in my report. It's an EFT. The transaction started on 7/16. It's from the Kingdom of Ansteorra. It's my PayPal gate deposit. It was for Summer Coronet. I logged PayPal here. Now, in the first split, it's event income before expenses of $540. And my second split, card merchant PayPal fees of $19.91, which comes over here to my actual ledger of $520.09, which was my income from PayPal after fees. Does that make sense?
Yes, and thank you for showing us that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I know there have been a few changes when it comes to actually how things are reported, what the forms look like, so I appreciate that.
And I will also specify, please, please, please make sure on your end of event report with your, when you send it in for your NMR, you do have it split out with your adult members, your non-members, adult, and then the children, because that is now being required up at the society level. So when I turn in the NMR report for the month, I have to specify for them about our membership.
Great, thanks. Okay, well, we were given an hour, but we really don't need a full hour. So if we can stop recording at this point, and if you do have any other questions or discussions, we can do those in the time that's left.